What is this? What's going on? So apparently they're making a new Fairly Odd Parents, and it's weird and it's strange, and it's got weird animations that make my eyes go cross-eyed. I don't understand it. What's happening? So yeah, if you've not heard, there's a new Fairly Odd Parents in town, and it's called Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. And I guess Timmy's just been absolutely retconned from the entire series. What's going on? This is a complete rebrand, a complete new thing. I guess they're just starting all over from the beginning. They've still got Cosmo and Wanda, but hey, apparently they've been in retirement for thousands of years or some shit.
The intensity of your wish activated our magic.
We used to be fairy godparents to kids, but we've been retired for 10,000 years.
What is this? So does Timmy Turner not exist in this universe? And why do they move like that? The way they move makes me so uncomfortable.
And our legs don't match.
Why'd you keep on doing this, Nickelodeon? You've buried Fairly Odd Parents enough in the dirt. Why do you have to dig it any further? Okay, let's calm down. Maybe it's not bad. I'm gonna give it a chance. Let's dive in to the first episode of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish and figure out if it's actually any good. So the first thing you're immediately gonna notice is the absolutely different style of animation, and I'm not gonna say it's the worst thing ever. It's, you know, new, something different, and it doesn't look the worst. I've definitely seen more egregiously terrible animation, so I'm not going to say, oh, this is the worst thing ever, I want to die, because it's not that bad. However, there is something, I don't know, that I just don't really like about it. I can't really put my finger on it, but truthfully speaking, the animation is rather fluid, and yes, the characters are themselves very animated, but like I said, there's just something about it.
All blue and purple and pink and hot pink and bubble.
So similar to the original Fairly Odd Parents, the intro is also very catchy and shares a lot of similarities to the original, of course, with a slight change, a little pizzazz, you know, something new. But essentially, I can't really hate on the new intro. It was actually kind of good. So the Timmy Turner substitute for this show is going to be a character called Hazel. Hazel is a bright-eyed, enthusiastic young girl who lives with her parents, Angela and Marcus Wells. And I'll admit, there is something there. They're all some interesting characters.
I'm Hazel.
Angela Wells, a pleasure.
Marcus Wells.
We got you a welcome basket.
Crop circles, ghosts, mysterious creatures.
Let's give her a moment to process. She'll come to us in her own time.
That wasn't the deal. Too late, you doink. You've been outsmarted. Now start granting.
I'm just abundantly grateful that despite there being this drastic change, at least I can wholeheartedly say this show does have an essence of life, enabling me to at least not have an absolutely horrific experience while watching the first episode for the purpose of this video. So yes, whilst there is a sort of inner turmoil and pain I feel from watching this as a fan of the original and knowing where it initially started, it would be an absolutely baseless statement if I just went out and said this show is absolutely atrocious simply because it's different. So I'm constantly trying to remind myself to be fair and just in my overview and review of this show, as nostalgia does indeed play a factor in my thoughts of the original. Now, Hazel's mother is a therapist as well as an author. She comes across as the type of parent that treats her child as a therapy client without really being present in the moment mentally.
Yes, hello, baby. I see you and I value you.
No, Mom! The neighbors.
Shh, later, Puddin' Pop. Yes, you've been very mature about the move. You know what? I put you at a level 9 on the Be Well scale of self-actualization. Trademark pending.
But hey, I'm only judging based off one episode, and she does seem like a cool character. And of course, very much loves her daughter. Overall, I quite enjoyed the dynamic between the three of them, the daughter, the father and the mum. And whilst the humour definitely wasn't my thing, I just didn't find a large quantity of this entire episode funny. In fact, I think I may have slightly chuckled perhaps once, and I can't even remember when. Despite that though, it wasn't an unbearable experience, like I was initially afraid it might be. Now as for her father is a teacher who studies the science and the unexplained, and of course this makes Cosmo and Wanda rather nervous. Oh yeah, by the way, Cosmo and Wanda, they live right next door. However, one thing I did find rather perplexing, I thought, or at least I assumed, that this perhaps would be some sort of continuation, maybe after Timmy had fully grown up and they had retired, only to come back into the workforce once they missed it too much. Now admittedly, I will say I haven't watched Fairly Odd Parents in an incredibly long time. I grew very tired of its persistent descent into madness and stupidity, and for good reason I simply stopped watching it. Now from the looks of this first episode, it looks like Timmy Turner was never even a thing, completely he was wiped off the face of the universe, and at least this iteration of Cosmo and Wanda have no idea who he is, because they've been retired for a very long time, much before Timmy would have ever even been born, and only now are they coming out of retirement to make the life of this young girl a little bit better after a move to a new place that really seems to have put her feelings in the dump, especially after who she considers her best friend, her bigger brother, is not even able to visit them.
I just want my brother here, okay? Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that him?
So really, that sums up the entire crux of the episode. She's in a brand new place, she feels uncomfortable. On top of that, she deeply misses her brother. She tries to stay positive through her first day at this new school, but unfortunately things don't really go as planned and she seems to be having an unexpectedly shaky time. Also, we meet this kid who I assume is going to be some sort of arch nemesis to her, I don't know, perhaps they'll be friends. I'm not too sure. Will I continue watching the series? Probably not. But quickly summed up, he's essentially a snarky rich kid with a lot of money. This entire school is weird. Everybody seems weird here. Something's not right. What neighborhood is this?
As a trending dimvid channel doing ASMR, gives me the creeps, but I respect the hustle. Squish, squash. You're the no-brain new girl who just sat in wet paint.
So, she's in a new place, doesn't know anybody, her brother's not around, and school seems to be going absolutely terrible. If only she had fairy godparents to grant her every wish. Oh, Cosmo and Wanda. Oh yeah, those guys. Now, like I said, Cosmo and Wanda are neighbours to this new family that have just moved in, and they've already come to introduce themselves. Now, Hazel was very quick to catch on to the fact that these two have something dodgy going on. It's not making any sense, it's defying physics, it's defying logic.
So, what brings you to Philadelphia?
I took a teaching position over at the Galaxy Institute.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
I mean, it wasn't very hard, they weren't exactly trying to hide. How have they gone all this time without being found out and caught by the FBI to be dissected to figure out what exactly they are and where exactly they bloody spawned from? Anyway, she tried to bring this to the attention of her parents. The parents weren't listening. Her mother was too busy with her own thing. But anyways, back to her going to school. After the atrocious day she'd had and the fact that she was also again disappointed by the fact that her brother wasn't going to be able to come due to work circumstances, she hatches up a plan to run away from home in order to try and find her brother so she can be with her best friend. Cosmo and Wanda end up thwarting that entire plan, and it's around this time that Hazel ends up finding out their secret identity. Their ex-fairy godparents.
Magic.
Now, of course, this is huge news. Her world's been flipped upside down, but she still wants to get to her brother. But you see, in the midst of her making wishes, hoping to be able to get to her brother, Cosmo and Wanda's wishing powers end up going haywire and they turn her into a fly, essentially, because she wants to be able to fly to her brother. I don't fucking know.
I wish I could just fly to Anthony myself.
Wanda.
But yeah, she's a fly, a lot of shenanigans go on. She tries to escape from Cosmo and Wanda, who are attempting ever so hard to stop her from getting hit by a windshield of a car, but she's eventually lured in with some delicious fries. I will say this right now though, this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. How was she able to eat an entire fry as a fly? The fry is quite literally bigger than her because she's a fly. And why am I saying fries when I'm British? I should be saying chips. Hazel ends up doing a 180, she's learned her lesson all of a sudden.
What if you forget all about them?
Yeah, that'll never happen. The time I spend away only makes me appreciate my colony all the more.
She ends up seeing the positives and is so happy by how amazing this day ended up being because she now has fairy godparents, yay! So look, that's essentially the story. I hope you liked it. Did you like this? Did you like it? Do you want to watch the show? Do you think it's good? Honestly speaking, it really wasn't too bad, and it most definitely exceeded my expectations. Will I be watching it again? No, but look, I could completely see how a younger audience would absolutely enjoy this and eat it all up. But as for me, I'll stick to the OG. Let's just say it wasn't really for me. Despite that though, I do appreciate the lighting effect with the animation, and I do think it can be rather pretty. But altogether, whilst I think this show does make an attempt to be good, it simply just isn't for me. And in the end, I think they should have just left Fairly Odd Parents alone. So, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!